Hi, my name is Candice and I'm going to discuss about what is RA 11479. The Anti-Terrorism Act of 2022, officially designated as Republic Act number 11479, is a counter-terrorism law intended to prevent, prohibit, and penalize terrorism in the Philippines. The law was passed by the 18th Congress and signed by President Rodrigo Duterte on July 3, 2022, effectively replacing the Human Security Act of 2007 on July 18, 2022.
History of terrorism in the Philippines. So, who is the founder of terrorism? Most of scholars today trace the origins of the modern tactic of terrorism to the Jewish CRI zealots who attacked Romans and Jews in first century in Palestine. So, how does terrorism affect society? So, terrorist act can cause ripple effect through the economy that have negative impacts. The most obvious in the direct economy destruct of property and lives. So, terrorism indirectly affect that economy by creating market uncertainty, xenophobia, loss of terrorism, and increased insurance claims. So, the next one is law on terrorism in the Philippines. So, what is the law on terrorism in the Philippines? Among its provision, the law punishes anyone officials deemed to have incited terrorism through speeches, proclamation, writings, emblems, banner, and other representation. The government maintains that it needs the Anti-Terrorism Act to fight insurgency. So, the law name called is anti-terrorism. So, why it is important to define terrorism? Accurate legal definition of terrorism is important for society and governance to enable successful investigation and prosecution of terrorism within the established judicial system.
Okay guys, so what you need to know about Republic Act 11479. This act was created in order to punish terrorism. So if you're wondering why I'm wearing military uniform, because right now I'm here in the headquarters. This act was very essential to our law enforcers, to our men in uniform. Bakit? Kasi hindi pwedeng nakatayo lang kami dyan na walang pinanghawakan na batas. The government are useless without laws. Okay. Terrorism is not only a group of people who are giving threats to community, to other countries, who are bombing anywhere. But terrorism, it is an ideology. Kaya mahirapan kaming pigilin ang magawain ng terrorism dahil nakatatak na yan sa pag-iisip ng bawat tao. Pwede ang kapatid ko ay maging isang terrorism. Though hindi siya Muslim, though hindi siya taga-ibang lugar, pero kung magkaroon siya ng ideology sa gawain ng mga terrorism, magiging terrorism siya. Kaya sinasabi ko, it is not terrorism, it is not only a group of people, but it is an ideology.
Republic Act 11479, an act to prevent, prohibit, and penalize terrorism. What will be the signs of successful response? When the government undertake the needed task of restructuring the bureaucracy, eliminating corruption, legislating and implementing anti-terrorism laws. Among its provisions, the law punishes anyone officials deemed to have incited terrorism through speeches, proclamations, writings, emblems, banners, and other representations. In addition, I suggest to the government that they would take an action for the students who participated or engaged in the protest against the government in order to maintain the Anti-Terrorism Act and fight insurgencies.
And we have advantage and disadvantage, pros and cons of this republic. So basically, it strengthened maintenance of peace and order in the Philippines. So in this law, prevent, eliminate, even combat terrorism in the Philippines, and also fight violations and punishes terrorism. While in this advantage, Anti-Terrorism Council could detain from up to 24 days, 14 days with a 10-day extension, and also arrest without warrant. And they could have authority surveillance from terrorists with maximum 90 days, 60 days, plus with possible extension of 30 days.
Some governments are nurturing prohibited terrorist organization in order to cause difficulty for its allies. So why did terrorism exist? We all know that terrorism is created by the government to give population an enemy image, to show that they are fighting against them. This is the strongest reason which the government gives its citizen about why it should be supported. Thus, it is nothing but a way to rule, and it happens at all levels of society.
Republic Act No. 10592, others known as an Act amending Articles 29, 94, 97, 98, and 99 of Act No. 3815 as amended, otherwise known as the Revised Penal Code, provided that terrorism is defined in this section shall not include advocacy, protest, dissent, stoppage of work, industrial or mass action, and other similar exercises of civil and political rights, which are not intended to cause death or serious physical harm to a person, to endanger a person's life, or to create a serious risk to public safety.
I'm Jose Amancio, and I will explain my concern in this act. Since one of the reasons why this law was created is to punish individuals who engage in terrorism activity, my concern is that we all know that it is inevitable that some person or innocent will be accused or detained because of this certain act. And I suggest that people who have been accused wrongfully or found not guilty on court must be compensated, or that person have the right to sue the government for being accused wrongfully.